So far, we have received this much of answers. So yesterday we forgot to do the task. Today we will do the task first, then we will continue with Haroop's concept and other things. We'll continue with the methods and attributes and whatever we were learning, everything we will learn today. So we got the responses from these people. I don't know if I missed someone of you. I have the mail, whatever I have. So let's start with the task. I have not checked all of your answers. So I didn't get the time, and I forgot to give it to someone else also. So hopefully tomorrow we will check that and we'll get back to you. But let's talk about the task. Those are very easy. The first, let's talk about the task one. Okay. What it says, given an integer n, perform the following conditional actions. So you have to do these kind of four conditions that you have to check. Okay. What if we should do? We should first take an input n from user. Okay. So we remember the method of int input. Okay. So we will use that method to take an input. Then we will check the input as it is odd. Then we can print weird. But we will also check in that condition that if it could be even, and if is it in the range of 2 to 5, then we will print not weird. So understand that if it is, I have also submitted. Okay, maybe I missed the name. I just copied and pasted. Okay, so not an issue. I will check that tomorrow. So you have also time to do the other task as well. First two, three, 1, 2 and 3, maybe we will do it today. So last ones we have already done, so not a big issue. So what it is that if n is an even, but n is in the range of 2 to 5, we have to print this not weird. For those who have not submitted or not have understood, I am doing that for them. Those who have submitted and did the correct thing, I am not doing that for them. So still bear with me, we will do this quickly. And then again, there is a condition if n is even. So there is three condition for even, and it is saying if it is not in the range of 2 to 5, rather in the range of 6 to 20, print weird. Okay. Then it is saying that if n is even and greater than 20, so print not weird. Okay, so there are two not weird condition. What not weird conditions are? Two not weird condition, and those not weird condition has a one thing common, that is it is even. It should be even. So for odd, it will always print weird. That's one condition. So and these two have another two condition, that if it is greater than 20, then print not weird, or in the range of 2 to 5, then print only not weird. Then if the condition is if the n is even and in this range, you have to print weird. Then where you have to print weird again? You have to print whenever the n is odd. So we have constrained that n should be in the range of 1 to 100. We will be checking only that format. What it means that print weird if the number is weird, otherwise print not weird. This is the output format that we meant. So as you can see, if we input, I have given a sample input, will be print input 3. Okay, so it should print weird. Why it should print weird? Okay, because it is odd, it is not even. First thing, it will be checked that it is odd. N is equal to, I have given the explanation as well. N is equal to 3, n is odd, and odd numbers are weird, so we print weird. If I've given another expensive, n is 24, so n is even, and it's in the it's greater than 20 as well. If 24 it is even and it is greater than 24, so what should be printed? It should be printed not weird. Now we just had to code that. Okay, so what we do is we first take an input from the user, and that should be in int. That's why we are putting an int in before. Everyone has used this almost the same method, but I'm just doing that. So what we are doing, if n and 1 is not equal to 1, then print weird. Okay, so that's where we are defining the odd statement. Then we are using a elif statement. If n is greater than 2 and n is less than equal to n, or n is greater than 20, that way we are defining this statement. that we are defining the range of 6 to 20 and the even one. Okay, and then we are printing that it is not weird, and else if it is in 6 to 20 range, it should print weird. So you need to understand that if n is odd, it will always enter into this statement and print out the weird. This else statement will not follow. That's what we wanted to show. Okay, else will only follow if both the if statement is not correct. Okay, in case it is not odd, it will enter into this and check the condition. Okay, if it is in between 2 to 5, that is this range, this is what it is written over here, or if n is greater than 20, then it will print not weird. It will enter into this statement, else it will print weird. That is the statement for this thing, that is 6 to 20 ranges. Okay, so we are segregating in this line the step of this statement. Okay, and else in the else statement we are what printing out, we are printing out this and this statement. Okay, so sorry, reverse, I meant to say, in the else statement we are printing out this, and in the this statement we are printing out these two statements, that is not weird, because the conditional statement shows that 2 should be less, greater than 12, 2 and less than equal to 5, or it should be greater than 20, then it should print not weird. Okay, that's why we are doing the conditional loop as well. Next task was means if we do this, we can do that also. If we put 3, it will print out weird, and same ways if you will check for the others, it will do that. Next task is if then we go for this next task, that read an integer n. Again, it will we will take an input from the user for all non-negative integer, that it should, what is non-negative, it should be greater than 0. Okay, print I square, I is equal to 2. Now what I is like, if we enter integer like 5, so I is what, once it will be 1, then 2, 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. This will be the int I, and so 0 square is 0, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. That's what the output is here right now. We have constrained that check only till the 20 number. This is a constraint that we say like that, just check into these numbers. So it was very simple. Like we could have done taken an input from the user and printed out the result like that. Like we are printing I is equal to 2 for in I in the range of n. Here actually I am printing out the result in a single line, just saving the variables. But let's print out the output. Say suppose we go for 5 again, the same output. You say that you see that output comes as 0, 1, 4, 9 and 16, but in the output that will be returned finally will be a will be what, a list containing none, 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 none for 5 times, because there was 5 integers. This is a method by which we will get the output, but it will be a shorter method, but with a extra output, extra return output that is not required for us. So we can do it with the other method also. We can input int n and enter any number, then we can loop through it for I in the range of n. Suppose the range is 5, so it will be in the range of 0 to 5. It will print out I into 2. So first 0 into 2, and then 1 into 2, then 2 into 2, then 3 into 2. We are just using these kind of things. So let's print it out. We will do the same thing. These two were very easy tasks, not a very tough task. Okay, now next come to the third one, finding the runner up score. What is runner up? Runner up is always the one that is not on the top, on the second position. Okay, so whatever be the second position, we have to find out that, not the top one. By using max, we could have find out very easily the top of whatever in the score. So what the condition is, given the participant score sheet for your university sports day, you are required to find out a runner-up score. You are given n score and store them in a list and find the score of the runner-up. So you have to create a list in between also. You have to take the scores. You are given the n scores, means you will take this from the input format. Okay, so input format will be like the first line contains n and the second line contains an array A. Okay, and an integer. These all are hacker rank questions. I have not created these questions. Okay, you can find these questions on the hacker rank. That's why I told you. Okay, so only two constraints are there, that n should be in between 2 to 10, and this you need to understand as you need to understand the least variable that we are creating, the least that is we are converting into an array A, and that should be in between minus 100 to 100. Now what will be the sample input? Suppose we have a sample input that we have a sample input like this, like we are entering n number of scores. So how many scores will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be 5 inputs. Now the constraint was actually just one thing, that you have to input in this format only, not like 2 ones, then 3 ones, then 4 ones, then 5 ones, then 6 ones. Although that method is also correct. By this method we needed to create, by entering by this method, by 2 space 3, 3 space 4, 6 space 6, and 5 6 space 5, we would have created this list actually, and the maximum score is 6 to 2 times 6. So the after the second after the maximum, the second maximum is 5, so we have to print out the 5. So what we did is we used a method called a map that we have actually discussed in the revision section, if you remember. So what we did, we take an input into that, and we created an array using list. You remember that array? This is where we wanted to use the array thing. Okay, we remember that array cannot be used. So we use the list and mapped out the input integer and splitted it. What we did, we splitted it here. Then we find out the maximum of the array, and then we looped through it and print out the result. Okay, if we do this and just enter this 5 here, just enter this 5 here, and do this copy and paste it here, so it will print out 5. But in the background, what happened, what happened, we created an array using the list, that is 2 3 6 6 5. Then we set always while have an incremental value, I is 0 less than n is what, n is this 5. We checked a statement that ZES marks AAR. ZES is what, the maximum of this array. What is the maximum of the array? That is 6 that we have entered. Okay, maximum of the array. Then array remove maximum ARR, and it removes it. So it will remove this and this. So what will remain the next one? That will be the 5. So we are printing out the new changed maximum ARR, that is 5. Okay, so this way the ZDS value is actually changing. The max ARR is what? The ZDS value. You understood this? The third one. See, understand the question. Here you needed to use an array thing. So you cannot use an array directly. We use the list and the map function to create an array, and we checked the condition of the array, that what is the maximum value in the array. The maximum value are twice, that is 6 and 6. It will loop through each element. This 2, it is not max. This 3, it is not max. This 6 is max. Oh, it will remove that. Then this 6, it will iterate again in this while loop, it will remove that. Now this 5, this is not equal to 6 because of this statement. It is not equal to 6. Okay, so what it will do, it will leave it there. Now what will be the new array? It will be 2 3 and 5. So what will happen is that now with the new array, the maximum value is what? It is 5. So we are printing out the maximum of the array. Anyone has any question understanding this, these three? We want to move forward today. That's why I only solved these 3 questions. I don't wanted to solve each and every question. Next questions we will do it tomorrow. Anyone having any questions understanding this? Means these two are very easier. These two are very easier. We are just taking a number input or looping it till the range of the input, like 5. So we will do 0 to 5, and this 5 means 0 to 5, and 5 will not be used, as we know in the for ranges. It will be n minus 1. So what it will do is like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and will print out the output, that is 0, 1, 4, 6, 4, 9, and 16. Okay. This method also returns the same thing in a lesser variables and lesser kind of thing. I have used the shorthand method for to print out the statement. This is actually eligible. Means, but if you remove this, what will happen? Question. Sir, none की लिस्ट क्यों प्रिंट कर रहा है? यही तो क्वेश्चन है. If we remove this, what will happen? Aziz is asking that why it is printing out the none list. If we suppose we remove this list statement, what will happen? Can anyone answer this? If we remove this, what will happen? I will explain this, Aziz. It will create an error because this is not allowed. But when we use it inside a list, okay, when we turn it into a list, this is what we are printing out. So why it is printing out the none, why it is printing out a none list is that because it is first, what is it is doing in this range, it is printing out these results, but the list doesn't contain anything. List loops around, leaps, there is nothing inside this range statement. Okay, it's nothing around this range statement. So what it does, first time it goes, it adds a value that is none because there is no value there while iterating. So it adds a none into a first none into a list. Okay, then it prints out the second thing, because of this print statement, and loops through it again, there is a none, so it adds another none into the list, then it does for the third, the fourth and fifth. So what it is happening, it print out the results, but the output of this is actually this list. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay, what is happening is that the none is getting, because this for range doesn't have this thing now, it doesn't have this thing. For should have this actually, but there is no that, there is no pass statement kind of thing there. That's why it is getting a none inside that, and it is actually adding that where, because this for loop is inside a list, so it is adding that none inside a list. That's what is happening, and that's why there are 5 none, because it iterated over for 5 times. Okay, see, there is no pass statement used. Okay, we have just shorthanded this to this method. This is not a good method also, I will tell you. Okay, always go and follow these kind of methods. Okay, because what will happen is when we will you will try, so if you have created a variable named a, and you would have tried to print a value of a comma 0, so it would have printed none, only one time none. It wouldn't have printed you 0. Okay, it wouldn't have printed you 0. In this method, you could have stored this into a list and could have printed out individual values. So that's why it doesn't use this method. This is a shorthand method to do it, but only for this purpose, not for the all other purposes. And this task was so very easy, very easy. This task was just printing out the constraint results. These all are have done. Sanskar is saying that he's also have done. I have not checked, so I'm not sure that you have done or not. You might have done, obviously I've submitted also. I'm not sure that where is the answer. Everyone got this? Why this happens here? Notations. Everyone got this? So we should move towards from this to our, and also you need to understand this also. We needed to create an array. This is why, because sir, it's Vishal Jaiswal. Yes, Vishal. This is here Vishal Jaiswal. What? Not Jaiswal. Okay, sir. Sorry. I just have entered your email ID actually. This is your email ID, I think. Right? That's why it was there. Okay. Then this need, you need to understand that we needed to create an array by this method. That's why we have used a list and map method to create it, and we have split this. We are entering this and splitting this input. Okay, so that 2 will be one time, 3 will be one time, 6 will be one time, 6 will be one time, 5 will be one time. That's what we wanted to do. Okay, so that's why we wanted this to be in this format, entering not 2 ones. Some of you have done that, two ones, then 3 ones, then 6 ones, then 6 ones, then 5 ones, and have entered that. I have not checked the others ones till Sunday. I actually checked 2 or 3 things. So some of you have done this also, so that's good. I will share all of your solutions to every one of you actually, so you can check that even on your own. Okay, so let's to move towards our presentation again. Back to where we were. Okay, till now we have understood these procedure and functional programming. Now we have started with the OOPS concept. I will just do a quick revision of it so that we can move forward. Okay, we discussed 3 examples. One example was of a woman working in a company, then of a house, and then I think of a mobile phone we discussed. Okay, everything is kind of object. Compare the programming world with your real world. Okay, now this what it has attributes and behavior. What attributes? Attributes based on her behavior, like she can walk, she can talk, she can decide, she can write, she can think, she can read, and that's why she has certain roles and responsibility that she does in her own life. In programming world, what we will call that attributes as attributes and behavior as methods. Now method was a new term that we started discussing yesterday, and methods is what methods can be called as functions, and attributes will be what it will be the variables in those functions. So this is what the paradigm has shifted in the programming world with this nomenclature. Attributes are the variables and methods are the functions. This we discussed. Now we then we move to Python classes and object. We discussed that the Python is an object oriented programming language. Almost everything in Python is an object with its properties and method. What is properties? Properties are those attributes. Okay, a class is like an object constructor or a blueprint for creating object. We understood that based on the class, numerous amount of objects can be created with different properties. We will discuss that, we will see that today. Okay, now what is an object? Object is a simply collection of data, that is variables, and methods, that is function, that act on those data. And what is class? Class is the blueprint to create an object. So class is one, and there can be numerous amount of object based on that class. We discussed this with a housing example, that if a house, if a architect creates an house blueprint, and there a society or a colony is built on it, there can be hundreds of houses. So those houses are actually the objects, and the blueprint that he created, the architect created, was the class. Okay, so similarly, we took another example. That example was of a mobile phone. Suppose we took an example of a mobile phone. A mobile company makes a same model of mobile phone into numerous categories. We discussed with the features also, like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and other kind of things. We discussed that yesterday. So what will be the Bluetooth of the phone will be called? That was done by the company while designing. That is will be called the classes, and all the mobile phones will be called the object. Then we started relating it to our house examples. Like a house will have can be a 3 BHK flat with 2 washrooms, 1 balcony, 1 hall, or 2 balcony and a water tank and something kind of thing. This will be a blueprint of that, on the basis of which various houses can be built. But in some houses there might be two rooms, in some houses there might be 1 washroom, or there might be no hall to sit around, dining hall to sit around. So that way those are the objects, but the blueprint created by the architect is the class. Okay, then we started discussing how the class is defined. Class is same way defined, using just as in the functions we use the def to define the functions. Same way the class is defined by using the word, that is class. Then white spaces are again important to that, and how to call that class, we also discussed that. Now understanding the class definition, class word is whenever the class word is used, and after that whatever it is written, it is the name of the class. Indentations are very important, and then whatever is written inside it, the variables written inside it, that like x is equal to 5 is the attribute of the class. Okay, now classes has 2 things, that is attribute and behavior. Attributes means variables, behavior means method or functions. So let's move to understand more deeply into it. Now we have the name of the class, that is my class. Attribute of the class is x is equal to Saurav, that is that prints the value x. So x variable is the attribute of the class, and add that definition, add self, that add function is the method of the class, that is the function. Okay, now when we call it like Python lecture is equal to my class parenthesis, so Python lecture becomes the name of the object, and this method is, hold on, I will just close it. It will keep on popping. So this is what we call the constructor in the programming language. We will discuss constructors more detail maybe today. And Python lecture will be an object. Okay, object created on what? A class. Which class? That is my class. If it could have, if there is another new class here like class above it or below it, like class my class 1, and we would have written my class 1, then Python lecture will be the object of that other class, that is my class 1. Okay, now we wanted to check the type of the class. There we discussed a very important thing, that everything is a class in Python. We discussed that this int type is a class of int, str is a class of str. We even opened the PyCharm and the Visual Studio Code to check the built-in functions. We discussed this in very much details yesterday. In case you missed that class, please watch the recordings on the channel. And there is nothing more than I can help you with, because I see a lot of people doesn't come even, so that's not my problem. So everything in final verdict is everything in Python is an object defined using some class. Even the built-in functions that we were using like int, float, str, len, these all are a class defined inside the Python itself. Okay, understanding the class definition more. Now we wanted to how to call the class inside from this my class. We wanted to call this method actually. So what should we do? Can we do this? Tell me. Now we want to call this method add. You remember we used to call any function like this, add and this. You remember this? This thing, we want to call this function. From this method, how can we call this? Now this function is actually equal to what? Method in oops. So basically I want to call this function. Is this correct method? Can we call like this, like whatever is written over here? What it will do? Let me check your responses. Why not, Sanskar? And what will be the correct method? Python lecture.add. We can't call them directly. That's correct. If we try to do this, okay, we will get an error. Okay, now what can he said that we can call this we can't call them directly. Can we call using the, means now we have defined a class, we have defined this my class is already defined here. Now you said that you cannot call directly, you have to call using this this class. Okay, so can we do this my class dot add? Now add is the function or a method inside my class. So we can do this. It should give us an output, correct? Means we can call this function now. Will it give the output? Anyone? What's wrong with this? Is it any wrong or is it correct or what? I will start charging my phone. You said, Sanskar, that we can't call them directly. Yes, that's correct. We checked that it's wrong. We cannot do this. But now we are calling the function a class first, then we are calling the function that is called method now, and we are calling it here right now. So is it callable? Will it return something? It should return, I think. I think it should be called by object. It is again not the correct method to call. Understand that we are what we are doing is why it see it will give you an error again. Why is it not? Why we can't do this? What is a class? What is a class? This class means what? It's a blueprint, correct? And blueprints are not the real object, correct? Blueprint is not a real object, correct? Blueprint is something on which the real object is created. So how can we call using this? We cannot call using a blueprint. We have to call using a real object. And what is the real object? That is actually Python class, Python underscore lecture. This is what the real object is. I will show you the example actually that in which method we can call this. This is one. There are two methods to call it. We will be discussing the first method. What we can do is we can have called this using the class now, but we have to mention which object. Understand this method now. First, let's understand this method. This was earlier wrong. You remember when this was not there? This Python lecture was not there. It created an error. You can check it in your notebooks. I have actually already written in the notebook. I'll show that in the notebook in a little while. But understand this. This was not there in the previous slide. Okay. But now we have added this. Now what is happening is this. We are calling this class first. That's correct. We are trying to get this add. Okay, but we are passing this object into that. So now Python will understand what to reach this add, it need to call this Python lecture. Okay, and this Python lecture is actually equaling to this class. Okay, so this method actually will return the result. This method will actually return the result. What it is? It is a class name, it is a method name, it is the object name. Okay, and it will give the output. What is that? That is the whatever is inside the method. Method means function. That is def add. Okay, whatever the name is, I have just given any xyz name. So this method works only when we are passing the object. Without passing the object we cannot do this. But don't you think so? It's when we are using the object always, why we are using the class name and we are making the code more lengthier? There should be other method as well. Yes, there is, and this is more that will be the more used method inside the programming industry. That this method, now we have defined the same class, same functions, and called the same object. Instead of doing that, what Aziz said, we will use this method. That is, we will use this thing, that is Python lecture dot add. Now here we are just calling directly the object, and since object is actually this class, okay, so by using this method it will enter into this class and will find this method and will enter into that method, and whatever is inside that method it will just give us the output. Okay, so by that method we can call the class, and this is more relevant method to use that using the object name and then the method name. That is object name and the method name, and it will give us the same output. So it is more popular way and easier way to call the call it actually. Okay, okay, this is a much better method. So everyone got this, how we are calling? We are calling using the object. We could have called it as we have seen on the earlier screen using that, but we need to pass the argument of the object name. That's not incorrect, but you need to pass which object, because understand that like here is a Python lecture here. Suppose there is another variable, another object, that is p2, and it also equals to my class. Okay, my class. So it doesn't know which variable it should, which object it should call, because there are numerous amount of object. And while discussing the housing example, you remember one thing, that an object is created from the blueprint. Blueprint can have three rooms, and then two washrooms, one balcony, or two balcony, one dining hall, or something like this, one study room or something like this. But in the object it could be different, means it could have everything in the blueprint, or it could have something less, or something less, like it doesn't have like if it doesn't pass any argument for the other one. So what will happen is the object contains a different information, or different names for them, or different values for them, and that way we will not be calling the correct object. That's why we in the Python we always call by using what we using call we call using objects. Okay, so this is a more popular way. Use this method always. Do not get indulged into the previous method that we used. Okay, it will be more complicated for you as well. It's much easier to call using this method. Okay, so okay, everyone got this, or should I repeat this one? Because these things are very important, you will get jumbled up learning this. If anyone has problem, please mention. I can repeat this. I'm not in a hurry now. We have reached to a good stage. One day I will give for the, I have already planned everything. One day I will give for modules, pip commands, and we'll also discuss frequency table and JSON data, and we'll do one school project for 2 days or 3 days. It's very much easier. And today we are actually standing on what day? We are standing on Wednesday, so we have actually 3 classes left in this week. So classes and objects, inheritance and variables and various types of other things we can discuss in this week. And on Monday and Tuesday we will sum up everything, do the revision once again for the entire thing. So not the entire thing, we will start from the classes and object actually. Okay, because we have done the revision of everything. So everyone understood this? No issues? So how we got 2 or more objects in the class? First of all, your question is wrong, Aditya. How we get 2 or more object in class doesn't matter. How we get 2 or more object from class. Class in class doesn't contain actually the objects. Okay. Yes, Prashpala, definitely I will explain this, because these things are very important. These are the last things, means the last nails that we have to put inside the coffin. Let me first explain the Aditya thing. Aditya, you said that how can we get 2 or more objects in the class? Not in the class, from the class. Understand this. Class is a blueprint from which we create various objects. Okay, 1 object, 2 object, 3 object. Now, suppose understand that we are using, let's take an example of cars. We have created a class that contains the name of the company, the model of the car, and let's suppose mileage of the car. Now let's say let's take 2 favorite examples of my cars. One is A3 Corvette and other is BMW Z4. Both are different companies. BMW Z4, let's say the mileage of BMW Z4 is actually 14. Actually it is 14. Then let's go with the A3 Corvette. The company name is Audi. The model number is A3 Corvette, and the mileage of it is 19 in petrol. Okay, now what we get is what we can do is Instead, right now, whatever we have done, understand that we will see this actually in example. Actually, I didn't want to exaggerate here, but let's do this. If it doesn't pass it here right now, we will actually be understanding this self today. These things actually, when we will understand, you will understand it better. Now what will happen is, when we call this class and pass certain arguments here, what, like company name C1, company name, then what we can pass model name, that is M, then what we can pass, that is mileage, MI. Okay, for one kind of thing, what it will be, it will be everything for the BMW. Okay, and for the other kind of thing, what it will be for the Audi one. So understand that the same class is same, class has three variables, that is the company name, my model, and the mileage. This is what the class is. This is blueprint. Now you can feed any data inside it. Now what we will do, in one of the means one of this, like we will create an object, that is C1, and it will be using this class here. And what we will see this more detail in today's class. We will pass this here, and then we will create C2 and will pass it again here. Now while using this, what we will do, we will pass once the BMW one and the next time the Audi one. So they are using the same class, but their values are different. Once it will have a value of BMW, and other time it will have the value of Audi A3 Corvette. Okay, Brajpal, I will explain it once again. What is happening is that there are two methods. Let me go back to the previous screen. There are two methods. What is happening here? We have gone too much before actually. Yes, this one. So what is happening is that I always told you that what is a class. We will understand this whole. Actually, this is the most important concept that we must not lose. What is happening is that this is a class. Class is a blueprint. Like I said, blueprint. Okay, like I said, blueprint means it could be for cars. Okay, cars can be of various companies like BMW, Audi, Fiat, then any other company, Toyota, any company. Okay, now when we define an object, okay, when we define an object, we can pass one of the company's data here. Then we define another object. With using this my class. Okay, you will not be able to see this in this example, but we will show that in another example. Then we pass this here, then we create the third object and we pass the third one here. So if we will be not using this here, if we will not be using this here, okay, if we not will be using, it doesn't know which object to call, so whose parameter will be called. It cannot call the function, directly from the class. It need an object to call the function. So this is one method to call, and the other method is, let me clear it. The other method is this, which is a simpler method, where you just name the object name and use the method name. Since the object name is equivalent to the class name, with object name it will carry all the parameter inside the class and the methods. Everything from that class will be here using this object name. So it doesn't need to nomenclature using the class name. It would understand, because this Python lecture belongs to this class. It is built on this class, and whatever argument will pass will be sent to the Python class, my class. Okay, we will understand this more in detail. Just let's understand first this self, because if you doesn't understand this now, how this argument will be passed here, these things you are not understanding right now. That's why you might be having difficulty. We will understand this one by one. Okay, today. Now, to understand what is this self, okay, to understand what is this self, what is it is, we have to understand a very special inbuilt thing inside the Python. Okay, what is that? That is init function. Okay, now what is a init function? Let's first thoda sa read kar lete hain. Let's read it first. Okay, The init function is, we have discussed the classes and object in the simplest form till now. Means the simplest form means was what we have, sorry, we have discussed just this. Like we have not passed, we are not able to pass any argument. If we pass any argument, will it change any value? No, because x is equals to Saurav. X doesn't equals to, x is not equal to something like int input, something like that. Is there something like that? So x value will never change if we pass even any argument. Also, it will tell us that it is an error. I will show you today actually now what to understand that. Right now what we are doing, we are calling this function add. Actually always we are doing this, we are calling this, remember, not only we are calling this object, we are also calling this method. We are also calling this method here to get the output. Okay, but with init function what happens is that, sorry, with init function what happens, init function is a special inbuilt function. Function means method. Okay, to understand the classes we have to understand the built-in init method. It's again a built-in method. You doesn't have to worry about its functions. All the classes have a function called init. Always use that, which is always executed. Always understand that init function is as self-defined, that it doesn't need to be called like we called it before. Like here we called it now, here we called it now. It doesn't need to be called. Just by calling the object, you can call everything inside the init function. Okay, now let's take an example of this. Now we have two classes here, two methods here. One class, my class, has one method that is init, and it also have a self. Just not worry about this self, we will discuss this in very much detail. And what does init do? High from init. Okay, then there is another function, called add, and it has the same parameter as before. Now we create an object called Python lecture, and it is contains my Python my class. So what will be the output? What will be the output? As far as you know right now, what will be the output? We have just defined this new thing here in it. What should be the output of it? Saurabh, correct. Saurabh should be the output. Is there any other thing that should be the output? Just think. Why high from init will be printed, and wouldn't Saurabh be printed? Means I'm asking, there are two print statements. One is for Saurabh, one is for high for init. One is Abhishek is saying Saurabh will be printed, and Brajpal Panwar is saying this is printed. There is another one condition that both will be printed. What will happen and why? We need to understand the why. Actually, that's how we will understand the init function. Then we will come to the self thing. Why, Aman? Both? I actually try to let you brainstorm a bit with whatever you have learned. Otherwise, I will actually, we didn't define anything in the parameters. We can't call init function. So both. We can't call init function. Okay. We didn't define anything in the parameters. It will automatically call. Okay. Okay, let's check what the answer is. So the output will be actually high from init. That's what Aman and Rishi is saying. And let me explain this here right now. Let me clear the drawing first. Understand that. Now what we are doing is, we are till this everyone understand? We have created a class, and now we have created an object. Now we are calling an object with an parameter add. Okay. So this add will be actually obviously getting printed. So this Saurabh is correct. Saurabh will be getting printed. Saurabh will be getting printed. That's for sure. Okay. Now, why is this high from init is getting printed? Why high from init is getting printed? As we told on the last screen, To call since it's a built-in function, to call a init, you doesn't need to pass any parameter. Okay, you doesn't need to pass this thing. Whenever you will call this object, or you will call this object, this will always be executed. So whatever written inside it will be printed. You understand that? If hold on, my the door is getting smashed. 1 second. Hello. Yeah. So understand this. If this add will not be there also, this thing will be printed always. This thing will be printed because when you are calling this object, it will print out whatever is in the init itself. So to call anything from the init, you doesn't need to pass the method parameter. It will be called. Always it will be called. Okay. We will see other examples as well. But when you need to call anything other than this, you need to call this method. You have to pass that parameter because it's not built in. This add, it doesn't, without adding this add in the object, it doesn't understand that. Okay. Everyone understand us? Let's check another example actually as well. Next. Let's understand this example. This is very important to understand what will be the output. Now we are trying to understand the parameter that I was talking about. I will explain this thing once. Okay. I will explain this thing once and you will give me the output. Okay. I was telling you about the car example, the BMW and the Audi one. This is what we are doing for a phone. Okay. This is a class that we have created. Okay. My mobile one. Now this is one mobile one and mobile two. Both are what? Mobile. Just forget this for a while. Just forget this, whatever the parameter is inside this. Okay. We will understand this self right now. We will understand this self right now. That way we will understand both the init and the self as well, how they collaborate together to make us understand this. So we know that this is one object 1, and this is object 2. Both are calling this class. Both are calling this class, correct? My mobile, both are calling this. Now what is we are doing is we are writing something like that self dot company and self dot model, and we are passing this company here and model here, correct? We are passing this. Now we are calling this object here, calling this method here, correct? But you remember when we call this mobile 1, not only this mobile and mobile, not only this will be called, but also the init will be called. You got this from the previous screen? You got this? Now what we are trying to do, what self does, we need to understand this. Can anyone help me doing this? Can you tell me what will be the output final? Even if you doesn't know, you can guess. I will explain it in the very animation way. I will explain again. See, my mobile is the class. Okay. So this my mobile is the class getting called. Forget the parameters for a moment. So let me change the color. How to change the color? Okay. Okay. These are two objects, correct? These are two objects. One is getting called here and other is getting called here. Since now let me change the color again. It's not blue. Let's go purple. Since init is a inbuilt method. Okay. So when we call this mobile and mobile 1 and mobile 2, these two will be called. Not only this mobile get calls, but also this get called. Both of them are getting called. Correct? Now the thing to understand is that there is something written like BBK electron. and let's go with black. Okay, not black, let's go with green. Okay, now understand that with in mobile 1 we are passing these two parameters, my BBK Electronics 1 plus, iPhone and iPhone 11, we are passing this. And as we know, 1 plus is a model, so we can call that this is a model, iPhone is a model, so it is a model. Okay, now BBK Electronics and iPhone are the brand, that is company. Okay, now we are using why this self company and self model, what it will do, and then we do it here as well. What it will do, that it will give what response will it give. You need this much, you must have understood that by calling this, okay, by calling this we are calling both of them. Okay, so whatever the parameter must be here, somewhere it must be going into this and this as well. Okay, let's understand on this next screen. I will not push you guys to solve this. Let's understand the code in a better thing. First, what we are doing, we are doing class mobile and defining an init function. Okay, then we have defined what a mobile self. Understand that only self is written currently right now. Do not remember this, just details are BBK mobile 1 plus. Okay, you solved this on Jupyter notebook. I wanted to explain it. Okay, let me explain. Okay, let me explain actually. See, this is a class that we have defined, and there is one method in it, that is the built-in method, that is init method, correct? Then we created another method that is called mobile. You can see there is no company written here, no model written here, nothing is written here. We will write it down later on. Okay, then we have done this till now. Then we defined a mobile one, that is the object. We defined this object 1 and this object 2, and we called this object and this object, and we called these two method as well, which are these, correct? We are doing this. Now we just need to understand why is this, why is this, why is this, why is this, and where it will go. Okay, we need to understand this now. So this way we will understand both the init and the self. What does self do? Okay, so these are the object names. Okay, now these are what the parameters, that is company and the model name, and we need to somehow push it into the my class mobile, because understand that class is what? Class is a blueprint. So blueprint will contain not the company name, not the model name. It will contain a parameter called company, and it will contain a parameter called model, which we can later feed on while defining the object. Okay, just understand that. Okay, now this is where we are calling the class and the method using the object. Okay, now what is happening is that when we pass these four parameters, that is BBK Electronics and 1 plus, what is the parameter? That is company name and the model name. What is the parameter? That is company name and the model name. These two need to be passed here, 1 and 2. These two will need to be passed here, and these two will need to be passed here to make it correctly work. Okay, if we wanted to be done something like that. Okay, so what we can do is we can change it into like this. Okay, we can change it like here. Clear all right? Now what we have done is we have actually this company name here we have passed, and the model name we have passed here, correct? Now using this self remembers, self is kind of remembering things. Okay, so self dot company will remember that whatever will be passed here will be a company name, and self dot model will remember that whatever will be passed will be a model name. You need to understand that. So what is the company name in this first one? That is BBK Electronics, correct? And what is the second one? That is 1 plus. So 1 plus is manufactured by what? BBK Electronics, correct? Means it's a parent company actually. And now we are calling the mobile here, and now understand that we have called these parameters using self. Means self will automatically call these things. Self will automatically call these things from these parameters, correct? And I will take the questions. I will take the questions once. Now we have a self here as well, but these self will call when we will be calling these objects, when we will be calling these objects. So this obviously mobile will call this entire thing, and it has a self also, like here was the self. So self needs what? Self needed what? So what it will do? Self will call whatever here is there, that is self.company it could call, self.model it could call, and give us the output like this. Now many of you might have gotten blank or not blank. Let me know by the chat so that I can answer it more correctly. I can explain it twice, thrice, four times, whatever times you want, but this is very important because the thing that we want to create is the understand the init function and the self. These two things we need to understand. This thing I think we will do it today. We will discuss this as well, and then we will go to the. How many of you understood this? The output of this. What it is printing out? It is printing out. First, it is printing out a line that is details are, and then it is printing out these. Correct? It is printing out these because this goes here, this goes here. It doesn't go like this way. It first goes here. Let me change the colors as well. See, it first print out this, then it needs to print out this. Correct? Now, where is self.company defined? Let me change the color, yellow. This is defined here. Correct? Self.model is defined here. Correct? Now, self.company and self.model will come from where? Where from this self.company and this from self.model. How we are passing this? Because when we are calling, let me change the color again. When we are calling this my mobile is trying to call this, but it requires these two parameters. These two parameters need to come from here. And why this? Because when we are defining this objects, we are defining this object, we have passed this one parameter, two parameter, then this parameter, and then this parameter. So what will happen? The first parameter will go to the company, the second parameter will go to the model. Similarly for this iPhone and iPhone 11. And what it will do? It will pass this company here and it will pass this model here. So what it will print first? It will print first the details one, means this thing it will print, and then it will pass this thing, and then it will pass this thing. Correct? Once then then when we will calling this, means for this calling we have discussed this. Okay, then what we will do, hold on, let me delete. Okay, for this we have called now. For this calling is for this. Okay, now let me change the color again. Now when we call this, what will happen? It will pass first this, okay, details one, and then it will pass this parameter here and this parameter here using these. Sorry, this need to be there. You got it? You understood this? Not Rishi, only you. I need to, I'm answerable to 50-60 people. Na? And this is a very important thing. See, if you understand this self and init, your 99% of the programming problem with classes and objects are solved. Why we are defining this another also variable, we'll discuss this today or maybe tomorrow. I don't know how much time we have left. How many of you got this or how many of you didn't got this? Can let me know. You have a lot of time, don't worry. Anyone? No one has issue? If no one has issue, na, just there is some competitions going on in certain hackathons, try to participate in that. I think Rishi was giving me some examples of them, so you can ask him. Okay, if you are guys have understood, not an issue, but then participate, because the next assignments will be very good. Now we have got the outputs. Same thing we are trying to do it here now. Same thing. Now we have removed that another new function that we had. You remember after self we had another def that we have removed. Now what we are doing is we have created an init function to create a simple thing. Again, this name is here and this age is here, correct? Now let's change the color. Now we are calling this a new object. This is what? This is an object. Okay, this is an object. And what we are doing, we are this object, we are trying to print the name of it and the age of it. We are trying to print. Now what will happen, since it is an init function, this John will go here. Yes, and then this 36 will go here. So the self name and will become what? John. This will become John, correct? And this age will become what? It will become 36. So what it will print? P1 dot name we are trying to print. So P1 has P1 is what? P1 has self it has self dot name parameter. It has na, this P1 has this parameter. This parameter it has P1. So it will call that self dot name. Now self dot name has what? John. So it will print out John for this and it will print out 36 for this. Yes, correct. All are correct. I hope you guys have understood this. So the init function, the final verdict is the init function is called automatically every time the class is used, is being used to create any new object. Whenever you will create a new object using a class, it will automatically call the init function. Okay, so the output will be John in 36. Since we have discussed already this class, just a definition, one self represent the instance of the class. We have talked one thing, what is an instance, very starting when we were discussing the objects. So that self is that instance of the class. By using self keyword, we can access attributes and the method of the class. Init method is a reserved method in the class. Reserved means built-in method in the class. It is known as a constructor in object-oriented concepts. This method called when an object is created from a class and it allows the class to initialize the attributes of the class. Okay, so these two things are actually inbuilt. Just understand that these are there already in the Python. You have to just beautifully use it while coding, so that you have to do the minimal coding and do the better response thing. Okay. The init method is similar to the constructor of C++ in Java. I don't think you need to understand this much of it right now. Constructors are used to initialize the object state. You doesn't need to understand these right now. So just another new example I'm doing, like understand here. What I'm doing is a person named Nikhil. You see, a person named Nikhil is created and is passed. Nikhil is passed an argument to the object P. Okay. Argument will pass, since the P is an object defined on this class person, so this will be passed to the init method to initialize the object, and the self keyword represent the instance of the class and binds the attribute with it. So whatever is passed, it will bind, the self will bind to it, that is self.name will become Nikhil. So it will print out, hello, my name is self.name, that is hello, my name is Nikhil, because name self name will automatically be called here. Okay. Now you need to remember one thing, that we need to call this second method, that is say hi, that is not a built-in method, to print out the final result, that is hello, my name is Nikhil. Everyone got this? How much time we have? Only 10 minutes. I wanted to actually start memory, but it will take some time. So I hope not to start it today, because we have to lose it in between then. Anyone has any issue till now? I can answer that. Please यार, किसी को तो कोई सवाल होगा. Anyone has, no one has an issue. Everyone has read C++ already. All have went to C++ classes. Wait, since I am skipping that memory part, actually, memory part will actually give you a certain concepts of C++ as well. Means understand the programming language more better. I always want to define everything in more details to you, more in-depth analysis that usually you doesn't get using going to a normal lecture. People skip these kind of things. They doesn't tell you how, where is this, where does this class is in my computer. No one tells you that. So you need to if you will understand anything with the physical world, it will be easier for you to access and easier for you to understand. See, the things which are imaginary are always tough to understand. The thing which we can relate with our own lifestyle, our own personality are easier to understood them. So I always try to actually pass the arguments through that method. Actually, you have to understand that init is a method. Init is built, is defined inside a class that is being, which we call same like this init. Int is also a built-in method that is inside any class, that is int. Okay, so that we have checked. Same ways init is also a method. A method it is. If you check in the built-in .py that we yesterday shown in the Visual Studio Code and the PyCharm, you will find a init, and you will find what parameters could take or not take. We will actually discuss in more detail. It could take anything. You just need whatever argument you will pass. Just understand it. Whatever argument you pass, like name is here, you need to pass it here. Okay, you need to pass it here. That way you can access the data here in any other function, or can directly call also. Like here, if instead of p say hi, if you have called directly the p, this will have been called, but nothing will have been printed out. Otherwise, if you have to print like something in the init statement, like print self dot name, what would it have printed out? It would have printed out, if you have called this then p again without say hi, this say hi will not be there. Then what it have printed? Just the name of the person. Because since you are not calling this say hi method, so it will not enter into this. Okay, it will not enter into this. That's what I wanted to make you understand. I hope you guys all have got it. In case you have any problem, please share it tomorrow or day after tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever, till the class is there. And after the classes I will be done, I will not be solving your problems. So self built-in method in object है क्या? Everything sanskar is in Python is an object. But first of all, it's not a built-in object. I have told you it's a method. Built-in, whatever with this def is sanskar is a method. It's a method, and it's a what in it is what? It's a built-in method. Okay. Using that built-in method, we can create new objects. That's what the speciality of init is. So init is most widely used. Actually, I have skipped one thing that I wanted to tell you. I have skipped this thing. Like init, there is another cool thing like underscore name. I will discuss this in one class. This one thing I have skipped actually. Name, it is actually written N A M E. Sorry, my handwriting is not good with my mouse. So I have skipped it. The same thing. This is the same kind of thing with the init. When we will discuss the modules now and calling modules now, we will discuss this name method. Okay, we will discuss this. This will give us a more in-depth analysis. See, understanding the core basics will help you so much creating the program. It will be so easier to become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer or a deep learning engineer unless you understand this basics. Okay. So I hope if there is no other question, I will conclude my class for today. I think time is also, yeah, just 5 minutes. So we will conclude the class today, and we'll do that from tomorrow. What is this? Why is this happening inside this? Okay. So any other questions? Otherwise, we will start tomorrow the memory, and it is a very important thing. The memory allocations, how the memory allocations are done, how the objects are created, what are constructors. We will reach to that point. I will understand that. Try to use this. Means try to find out yourself some cool problem state. Just write anything. Define cars. Pass the argument, like I said, BMW and then Audi. Then pass any class or like students of my training of your college, like pass any number of parameter, try to play with it, find out what the issue you get. Okay, and we have also actually also the Jupyter notebook that I have actually already opened, which contains all the examples, but I have not opened it today. Tomorrow we will start from here. We'll check that we have not done anything wrong or something like that. Okay, so if no other questions, yes question. Sir, मैंने कहीं देखा था अंडरस्कोर मेन, इसका क्या काम होता है? Brajpal, yes, you seen that here actually in this class itself. You have seen this. I remember this. Yes, here you seen this. You seen this here. When we were checking the type of this class, we called this type of the object. We type the type of the object. Then we got this main, and this we will discuss when we have discussed underscore name. This is also a more in-depth question. We will discuss that, Brajpal Panwar. It's already in my cards that we have to discuss this. I have to tell you this. I will tell you, but understand that if we will understand this, we will understand this. These all are interrelated. So we will go step by step. I will explain that, but currently not. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, let's just end the class. Okay guys, see you tomorrow again. Okay, and please यार थोड़ा जल्दी आया करो. 3:25 3:30 तक आ रहे हो. Please don't do this. Okay, try to do that. Day by day, I think the things are getting tough, so the participants are decreasing as well. That's not my problem. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow. Please check all the classes. Means these last classes are the one that will make your career jump. Please understand that. Means when the modules will start now, you will start loving Python. The things, the amazing things that you can do, miracles. Chalo, bye. See you tomorrow.